Newsflash. Hello, everybody.
Whoa. What? Jeez.
We no longer have a shop. Whoops.
Did you delete it?
Yeah. I sorry. Turns out if you no, it's just terrible. I spilled a big mug of tea all over my keyboard and I watched as all of our merch disappeared one by one in front of us. It went into the portal. Maybe it's gone with you guys. Actually, could you try and look around for it?
Oh, I mean, we can have a look. I thought you were going to say I spilled a big old tin of beans all over it.
That would be more appropriate, wouldn't it?
We might have been able to use a backup that I've been keeping for a long time, but I accidentally left that in a briefcase on the tube. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, with everyone's payment information as well. So that's just out there now. I'm afraid. Never mind.
No, that's fine. Just sign up to some lovely spam emails. It'd be great.
Oh, to be absolutely
to be very clear, I did not leave a briefcase with all of your card information on the tube or anywhere, and that briefcase does not exist. It's fine.
We do not have access to that information. We have never had access to that information.
No. But yes, while we are allegedly hunting for the suitcase and I'm cleaning up the beans, we are currently storeless. Yogscast will no longer be supplying our merch. It's not a personal thing, I promise. It's just they've had a bit of a clear out and that does make it sound personal. We've had a clear out, get rid of the trash.
Got rid of the shit and we're proud to say
we made the cut.
We made the cut, boys.
Woo!
We're still on the network, we should be clear as well. It's just purely a store thing.
Everything is fine.
Never make me do PR statements. This is everything's fine, all right?
By the way, that we've lost your information.
So yes, we are currently looking into a new supplier. So bear with us for probably a couple of weeks to a month. We'll get something new set up as soon as we can. Maybe with a new little treat or two on it. Who knows? We'll see. Ooh.
The store is not dead. It's just changing.
Okay, there we go.
Yes.
In true Vidiots fashion.
Exactly. Prepare yourself for some weird shit on the store.
Yeah, now we're in control of it. We can just put whatever the hell we want on there. Want a big pixelated JPEG of Dave Benson Phillips on a shirt? No, you don't, because that will definitely result in us getting sued.
You want a RIP memory card swimsuit?
You
can have that. Booth bought one of those. Booth bought a triple jump one, so see if she buys that.
Yeah. She does listen to Podiots, and she streamed in the triple jump one. So if we ever feel like Podiots needs a bit of a boost, then just do a one item only Podiot swimsuit and sell it to her. Easy.
There you go. Bam. It must be so unnerving to put on a podcast and just hear your name called out. I like that.
Sophie.
Yeah, we're talking to you, Jason.
Oh, actually, before we go into it, I want to start with something that's a little bit more fun than the death of the merch store. Do you remember you all used MSN, didn't you?
Yeah.
Instant Messenger.
I think it's time. Do you ever have like embarrassing statuses on there? I mean, I didn't because I was above all that.
Probably at some point. But...
Nobody talked to me, so I didn't really didn't really put any statements on.
It's time to live our dreams, and I'm going to give all of us here a new embarrassing status to put on their MSN status, if that's all right. I've got an old archive here from like literally 10 years ago of a website that was just filled with really terrible funny quotes that like perfectly fit the bill for MSN statuses. So I'm going to start with you, Ben. If you could give me a number between 1 and 2,304.
Oh man. Okay, how about 1,455.
1,450. Give you a minute to scroll all the way down.
Yeah. Could you control an F or not that kind of page?
No, it's not that kind of page. I found it.
It's all right. Just talk us through it. How many have you gone? Where are you at now?
Oh, I'm bang on. I'm a quick scroller.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Okay, yours is, don't let someone tell you it's not love. You will know. Oh. I never knew what love was until I met him.
Oh,
it's nice.
Love it.
Who do you think I'm talking about in the statement?
Billy Ray Walrus?
It's either Billy Ray Walrus or Brian Butterfield.
Ooh,
yeah.
Big old fan of the Butterfield. Peter, would you like one?
Yeah, I'll have 489, which is 420 plus 69.
Very nice.
Great. That's clever and rude.
It is.
That was quick as well. You've had that banked. God, they're all love themed. I guess that's on brand. I think it's weird when I love you. I think it's weird when I care. I think it's weird when I want you. When you don't even know I am there.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And viewer at home...
Love's a bit cringe, isn't it? Love's a bit cringe. Isn't it a bit cringe, Love?
Gross.
Yeah. Peter's wedding was a bit cringe, I thought.
All this lovey-dovey stuff.
That was one of my vows, wasn't it?
Ooh, bit cringe.
Viewer at home, would you like to shout out your number? Oh, a little bit louder.
Oh, 75. What?
75, thank you. And our lucky viewer, our one viewer at home. What? Oh my God, so this is like, what's the word where you get every letter of something and each letter begins a word? Wow, that's good English.
An acronym?
Acronym. So this is an acronym for love.
Yeah.
Loose wants vomit enemies.
Loose
wants... Loose? Not lose?
No, loose. God, I had a scroll through here and I picked some random numbers off the cuff and they're all bangers and I get these and it's just a mess.
Well, you need to pick one for yourself now.
Find us one. Yeah, find us a good one.
I'm just going to scroll and stop randomly. Let's commit the perfect crime. I'll steal your heart and you'll steal mine.
Oh,
that's good.
Brilliant.
That's good. Right.
Of course, on MSN, they would be in sort of different coloured fonts with kind of various asterisks and little emoticons around them.
Incredible. That made me feel unwell, Michael. So well done.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's what I do best. Would you boys like to roll on to the actual meat of the podcast now?
Yeah, go on.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podiots, the official Vidiots podcast. It's a conversational podcast where we take some questions from you at home and obey the law of the 3 R's, where everybody brings
a thing along to talk about.
I'm Ben.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Michael.
Right, guys?
Yeah.
How's it going? You all right?
Yeah, Mikey's just had a birthday.
Oh my God.
Oh, happy birthday, Mikey.
It was a scary moment when I Googled on my phone, how old am I? I just couldn't remember.
Right, you had to Google how old you. How do you not know that?
I don't know. I wasn't sure if I was like 27 already or 26 already. I'm a 28-year-old man, which is a horrifying
28.
thought.
Oh, you'll remember when you get to 30. That's
yeah.
Everyone makes a big deal out of that one. God. Ugh.
They do. Ugh. They do make a big deal out of it.
Stop giving me admiration and love and attention. Leave me alone to wither and die alone. Thank you.
That's all any of us want.
Yeah. Just not to acknowledge the years passing. Just let's all pretend it's not happening, right?
Yeah, I think so. Are you good, Peter?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, fine. It's Halloween month, isn't it?
Oh.
Why wouldn't I be fine? To be clear with everybody, the Halloween episode or the annual Spooky-It's episode will be the last week of October. So next time we ask for questions, you get those spooky questions in. We'll do some spooky things.
Spooky things, yeah.
It's just a spook month podcast. It just happens to be in this month, and that's okay. If you would like to support us financially, and you don't have to, because the world is bad. Living in Britain is hard currently.
Yes.
And we totally understand if you take your pennies and you spend it on far more important things. Fuel is expensive. Energy is expensive. Food is expensive. It's horrible out there. But if you do have pennies to throw our way, we would really appreciate it. And you can do so by going to streamlabs.com/Podiots donations. Donate £3 or more to get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the show. You join Pod Squad and you get a shout out. Everyone chooses silly names most of the time, apart from the people who don't choose silly names. And sometimes people go a bit far, or we're not really sure what their names mean. And we don't want to say a slur accidentally, so we refund them, which has happened this week. Mikey, can you kick us off with your Pod Squad?
We begin with Puddle Duddle, Caroline, Blobby, Cheggers, etc. Where is Kevin? Scissor me, daddies. Mr. Blobby becomes a drug lord. An extra 50's worth of works. Jack J.D. Bradshaw, Mr. Black. Normal name, Nick Gage. Blobby got you treed. Stephen scored as a normal name, Lord Brotovich.
Very good. I also have normal name Lord Brotovich at the top of mine, but that might be a mistake.
It's a mistake.
Yeah. Look at that.
2 there from normal name Lord Brotovich. Also, Freddie Weber did a sex wee oo woo. Lovely. Smelly penis discharge. Nice. Shit, this isn't WebMD. Oh, very good. Those 2 go together. Big Titty Jesus 42. Blister Black. Mr. Street View. Extra 50 worth of Pod Squad. Don't put your feet before your cocks. Podiots present being liable. Mr. Macker the Quacker Facker. Prince Beefcakes and Finn Tristram.
And finally, I have the dicks were a bit much for me. Mr. Macker, Podiots presents Plushy Labs, Edgar Allan. I'm going to have to zoom in on that. Edgar Allan Poe. Good, nice. That's what it said. 2 1/4 Doms, Donac 07, theoretically possible. Dave's bent son Philip, don't know about that one. Juan with everything, Dick and Dominatrix in Bangalow.
Yeah, just bang as in having sex, I think. Okay. Bangalow.
Bangalow. I'm sorry I took it too far, and My Cool Jug's son.
Nice.
That's My Cool Jug's son. Thank you so much, Pod Squad, for your Pod Squad squaddings this week. Streamlabs.com/Podiots donations to join Pod Squad. Thank you so much. Do you have a favourite, Alan?
I think you had a really good batch there, Ben. I liked Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes.
Theoretically possible. Fun with everything. I even liked Dave's bent son Philip, even though it's pretty questionable. Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the one that sounds like my name, My Cool Jugson. That's good.
My Cool Jugson. I'm gonna have to throw my weight behind Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
simple,
it was
but effective.
Yeah. The fact that you had there was just a slight delay as well, where you had to click on it to zoom in. What does that say? Edgar Allan Poe.
Ooh, okay. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Mikey, your question boy this week. What you got?
You're darn tootin'. I have a question from a fucking Hoover.
Okay.
So you're not seeing the close-up picture of a smiling Henry Hoover. That is their display picture as well, which is a pretty good combo. I didn't even notice that before.
What's the account called? Not just the username, like the username, sorry. The at.
At meme_out on Twitter.
Okay.
And they ask...
Not a Hoover, then.
Not a Hoover, sadly. Just cosplaying as one. Come on. They ask... Ooh, I closed it just as I started reading it there and I panicked.
Is that them just being a Hoover?
Oh dear. They ask, what is the nerdiest thing you guys are into? For me, it has to be Waterhammer. Fuck, Jesus. It's not going to be very good, would it? God, help me. For me, it has to be Warhammer 40k. Kiss. Do you guys have any little maybe secret nerdyisms? Maybe things that you don't talk about that much, or just things that you fully embrace the nerdiness of?
I'm going to say something a little controversial here, and I think you'll both agree with me. Actually, I think wrestling is nerdier than video games.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And I don't think wrestling fans see themselves as nerds. But my God, it's fiction. And to have earned an encyclopedic knowledge of it is on par with knowing, in my books, it's on par with knowing how to write and read Elvish in J.R.R. Tolkien's.
People who can they can quote specific matches and what happened and who, it was one match in some random Saturday show in 1989. That's insane to me.
What a card, Peter! What a card! Did you see who was main eventing?
Yeah, that's sure.
Who was in it? Who was it, Peter? Who was main eventing in 1980? Whatever it was, you said.
Jim Whiplash Winson.
Winston against.
Oh, I don't know. Against the wardrobe.
Wardrobe. He was
classic,
brilliant, wasn't he?
Classic.
Yeah.
I love his catchphrase. What was his catchphrase, Peter? The wardrobe.
Put your fucking clothes in me now.
Wow, I can see why Winston would want to fight him.
Yeah, you could say fucking on TV in 1989. You can't say it anymore.
You really could. So that's my answer. I really like wrestling, and I think that's probably the nerd. Because I tell people I play video games, and they're like, oh yeah, video games, they're culturally acceptable. I say I watch wrestling, they're like, wrestling? Wrestling is the last hobby I would tell someone I've just met that I'm into. So that's mine.
Like wrestling is video games you can hop in and out of, play one or two, but wrestling, it is literally a full-time job. There's no easy, like if you want to actually enjoy wrestling, it's a full-time commitment.
You gotta watch so much of it, man.
Especially if you're in the UK, it just means late bedtimes quite regularly, which I don't
Lots
agree
of torrenting.
With. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, I was in an Uber the other day, and the guy was asking if I'd just come from work, and I hate when people ask me that because, like, I won't make it up and say, oh yeah, I work in just something ordinary and that they don't want to talk about. I will give them an honest answer, but I know they're then going to go, oh, a YouTube channel. What kind of videos do you? How many subscribers? And all those questions, which is fair enough. They're interested, but whatever. Anyway, he was asking me about the channels, and I said, oh, there's 2 channels. And whenever people ask me that, particularly taxi drivers, I'm always a little bit more embarrassed to say that one of them is about pro wrestling than I am about video games. And like you say, Ben, like video games almost sort of stereotypically or historically is considered a very nerdy thing. But I don't mind now saying, oh yeah, there's a gaming channel, and then there's You know WWE, wrestling? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I was like, they do the news and stuff about wrestling.
With that Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Yeah, exactly.
Stone Cold Steve.
Andre the Giant. How's he doing? Is he winning?
How's Giant Haystacks? They always go for Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy because they were
they do ones. Giant Haystacks. Yeah.
Those are those ones.
Have you got a nerdy thing, Mikey?
This is like the most boring milquetoast answer. But it is just nerdy in the worst way because it's just so bloody boring. But I got really into keyboards for a while, like the ones you type on, not musical ones.
Oh, right.
Oh, not Casios.
No, sadly, I've tried many times to get into the good keyboards, but I can't do 2 hands at once, so I can do chopsticks, and that's about it. I spent like a year just like learning everything about keyboards, looking into all these fancy ones and like ones that you custom make and solder yourself. And I was like, I'm going to get a really good one day. Obviously, at no point did I ever have the money. So I just kind of got really involved in this world with no payoff. And now I just type on a really cheap one and it does the job because all it does is put letters on the screen and that's all it needs to do. But people literally spend hundreds and hundreds on these things and have meetups where they all look at each other's keyboards. It's quite very cute. Cool. I'll give them that.
In car parks.
Yeah. Oh. I've got a classic RBM in the boot if you want to see it. Got to click on this one.
You can hear them coming a mile off. Just clack, clack, clack.
We all go to home base car park at 7 p.m.
How many words per second can you hit on this bad boy?
That's a lot of lights on that keyboard.
Oh, very nice.
I'm trying to think what my nerdiest thing is. I own a lot of old sort of dusty books that are falling apart that went out of print in about 1970, just on various things. Kind of just the sort of stuff I talk about on Weirdcopedia, sort of strange history. And like I've got a book that I read out of once on a podcast when I was sort of desperately trying to think of a thing like 5 minutes before we started recording. So I grabbed it off the shelf and I read about, it's a book called something like Strange British Eccentrics or something. So I think I picked a random chapter, but I don't think it was the best choice because like I say, I literally just kind of put my finger in the book, so I'd like to go back to that at some point and find some of the really good ones because there's some really weird, interesting historical characters. But yeah, I've got loads of books about that and about I've got one on Spring-Heeled Jack, which I think you might have brought once, Mikey, in a very early podcast.
Yeah, that was old Podiots. Nice.
Yeah, just like a scare that happened in London where there was this bloke attacking people. Seeming like, that's the story anyway, and a lot of it is probably all hysteria, but that's kind of strange historical things. And I've got all these old books that aren't in print anymore, and I have to buy them at kind of inflated prices off secondhand bookshop websites. That's pretty nerdy. It's not a kind of a clique that lots of people are in, but in the same way that wrestling is, or even keyboards. But it's definitely very nerdy.
I respect it. I think you should open up your little collection as a library, but not for reading, but for smelling. I bet they smell so good.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them smell good. A few of them smell really bad. I think it depends which houses they've been kept in over a long period of time. But yeah, some of them smell great.
Oh, yeah, I want to sniff them books. Thank you all for your weird, nerdy things. And speaking of weird, nerdy things, who would like to present their thing?
I've got a thing a little bit like that, actually, that was sent to me it was submitted on Twitter, actually, by Plushy Labs, at Plushy Labs on Twitter. And it's good, actually, because this is something I'd seen. I was aware of this already, and I didn't know if it would maybe make a full thing. But I also saw a thing on Twitter recently that's very short, and I was like, oh, that's very Podiots, but it's literally like 1 minute long. So first, I'm going to tell you may have even seen this going round, about the man who invented the saxophone. Ooh. Did you see this?
No, this is news to me.
Okay, well, the best part is that his name was Adolf Sax.
Yes, of course.
But going around Twitter recently was a screenshot where someone had said, they'd just put, I'm reading about the man who invented the saxophone, and this is quite something. So from the early life segment, it says, Sax faced many brushes with death. As a child, he once fell from a height of 3 floors, hit his head on a stone, and was believed dead. At the age of 3, he drank a bowl full of acidic water, mistaking it for milk. And later, he swallowed a pin. He received serious...
This child needs supervision. This child needs supervision, and people need to stop leaving balls of acid around their house.
Yeah, well, that's not even... We're only about halfway through. He received serious burns from a gunpowder explosion, and once fell onto a hot cast iron frying pan, burning his side. Several times, he avoided accidental poisoning and asphyxiation from sleeping in a room where varnished furniture was drying. Another time, young Sax was struck on the head by a cobblestone and fell into a river, almost dying. It's like you, Mikey.
Fucking guy.
It says, his mother once said that, quote, he is a child condemned to misfortune. He won't live. And apparently his neighbours called him Little Sax the Ghost.
Wow. That's got to mess you up. That's not good.
That's great. Big fan.
Anyway, he survived and went on to invent the saxophone, apparently. So there's a mini thing for you, but I've got a proper one here.
That's so good.
So this is Unsinkable Sam, who, again, you may have come across before. It's a good story. Unsinkable Sam, also known as Oscar, or Oscar, that's spelt with a C or a K, is, according to a probably apocryphal story, the nickname of a ship's cat who purportedly served during World War II with both the Kriegsmarine and the Royal Navy, the Kriegsmarine being the German Navy. And he survived the sinking of 3 ships. Here is a picture of Unsinkable Sam.
Oh,
can go in the thread. Look at him.
Unsinkable Sam.
Yeah.
Beautiful boy.
So these are the ships he served on and the stories therein. Bismarck. The Bismarck. The black and white patched cat was supposedly owned by an unknown crewman of the German battleship Bismarck and was on board the ship on the 18th of May 1941 when he set sail on Operation Rheinübung, German for Rhine exercise. Oh, Rheinübung, yeah. Bismarck's only mission. Bismarck was sunk after a fierce naval battle on the 27th of May, and only 115 of her crew of over 2,100 survived the engagement. Sheesh. Hours later, Oscar was purportedly found floating on a board and picked from the water by the British destroyer HMS Cossack. Unaware of what his name had been on Bismarck, the crew of Cossack named their mascot Oscar. And he was named for the International Code of Signals letter O, which is code for man overboard. So that's nice. So then he was on the HMS Cossack. The cat served on board Cossack for the next few months as the ship carried out convoy escort duties in the Mediterranean Sea and North Atlantic Ocean. On the 24th of October 1941, Cossack was escorting a convoy from Gibraltar to Great Britain when she was severely damaged by a torpedo fired by the German submarine U-563. Crew were transferred to the destroyer HMS Legion, and an attempt was made to tow the badly listing Cossack back to Gibraltar. However, worsening weather conditions meant the task became impossible and had to be abandoned. On the 27th of October, a day after the tow was slipped, Cossack sank to the west of Gibraltar. The initial explosion had blown off 1/3 of the forward section of the ship, killing 159 of the crew. However, Oscar survived this too and was brought to the shore establishment in Gibraltar. Then, now nicknamed Unsinkable Sam, the cat was soon transferred to the aircraft carrier HMS Ark Royal, which coincidentally had been instrumental in the destruction of Bismarck. That was the first German ship that he was on.
Hey.
However, Sam was to find no better luck there, and when returning from Malta on the 14th of November 1941, that's only like 2 months after the previous ship, this ship was also torpedoed, this time by U-81. Attempts were also made to tow the Ark Royal to Gibraltar, but the unstoppable inflow of water made the task futile. The carrier rolled over and sank 30 miles from Gibraltar. The slow rate at which the ship sank meant that all but one of the crew could be saved. The survivors, including Sam, who'd been found clinging to a floating plank by a motor launch, which is a little military vessel, a little boat. And he was described as being angry but quite unharmed. They were transferred to HMS Lightning and the same HMS Legion, which had rescued the crew of the Cossack as well. Legion would itself be sunk in 1942, while the Lightning would be sunk in 1943. This cat is, he's blessed with survival, but he's maybe cursed to sink every ship that he stays on, seemingly.
Yeah, how many lives has he been through at this point?
Yeah.
Well, he personally, to be fair, he was only on 3 of those ships. The other 2 were just involved in his rescue, but... So the loss of Ark Royal proved the end of Sam's shipborne career. He was transferred first to the offices of the governor of Gibraltar, and then he was sent back to the United Kingdom, where he saw out the remainder of the war, living in a seaman's home in Belfast called the Home for Sailors.
Oh.
Sam died in 1955. A pastel portrait of Sam, titled Oscar the Bismarck's Cat by the artist Georgina Shaw Baker, is in possession of the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich.
Amazing.
And then there's a boring little section saying that some people question whether it's really true.
It's got to be true. Look, he's there in the painting.
Look, how would you have painted that cat if he'd not existed?
Exactly.
There's another man with an easel and another plank of wood frantically painting that before he drifts away.
There he is, floating.
One crewman who couldn't be saved. You've got important work.
Come on,
you can
come aboard. No, I will not leave my easel.
When you finish Sam's portrait. So he's Sam and Oscar.
Yeah, so Oscar was his name when he was first picked up because he was overboard. But then after he survived 2 ships, they changed his name to Unsinkable Sam. So
that's great.
Yeah. So there he is. That's him. So I hope you enjoyed those.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
I feel it's pretty sus, though, that everywhere Sam went, a trail of destruction followed and no one really cottoned onto it.
Yeah, he always...
Maybe, because obviously he was on the Bismarck at first, the German ship, maybe he was a plant, and the Germans were like, what we'll do is, we'll sink a ship near a British one, and they will take this evil German double agent cat on board, and he will, he'll bring bad luck. He was sabotaging British ships, I think, is what we can learn from this.
Yeah, look at those eyes. That's the eyes of an evil cat.
Of a Nazi.
Yes.
He is a Nazi cat, yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't believe, the ethics of war are a vast issue. It's hard to argue that putting men through it is pretty brutal as well, but it feels cruel. Like, surely once the cat survived one crash, like, all right, buddy, you can have some time on land, but no, let's ship him off for two more fucking trips.
Well, I know historically it was you had a lot of vermin on ships, but that's sort of the old wooden ones. And so I think maybe you did occasionally have ship's cats. But by the time World War II rolled around and you had big metal destroyers, I don't know if that was still an issue they faced. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Maybe there was still some hybrid legacy ships in operation in certain places, perhaps.
And also, I think people just sometimes get attached to the idea of a mascot. I know that there are some like World War II battalions that had really weird. There was like a bear in Russia. Like they just had this sort of semi-domesticated bear that they took round with them. And I think there was even like a goat. Maybe I think I've seen that in one of the Allied nations.
That's a good morale booster,
imagine if you're on some sort of secret mission. You're just sneaking along in the pitch black. Meh.
What's that? A goat on the water? What is this? Oh dear. Yeah, I'd be open to a boat animal. Screw it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam, you come with us. You got no choice in the matter. Thank you very much, Peter. That was wonderful. And what a handsome young man he is.
Indeed.
We got a question from Oi, what's his name? At Oi, what's his name? On Twitter. And they say, you've been pulled over for speeding. What is your best fake excuse to get out of the ticket?
Oh. You ever been done for speeding?
No. Have you?
No, my car won't go fast enough.
Yeah.
I guess now's a good time to get planning. I hate to be a caricature of myself, but would it fly if I got all, when the policeman came, naturally you're going to be quite flustered and sweaty and nervous and a bit shifty. If they ask you to roll down the window, and as the window rolls down, I just blurt out, I've got to go to the bathroom. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't hold it any longer. I'm there
Mr.
palm
Johnson,
sweaty.
You were going 90 miles an hour outside.
It's real bad.
School.
It's it's been 3 hours. You don't want to hear about the poos I've had in the past. This ain't going well.
So your plan is to go into explicit detail about your bowel movement and hope that they just go, just go away, just go home.
Yeah,
you could quickly, if you had 4G, you could pull up the worst games ever selection video just to prove that you do have occasional bowel issues.
Look, I've got a track record. The neighbour's cat can vouch for me, all right?
Get Dave Chapman on the phone, please.
Hello, yeah, it's about Mikey.
Oh, God.
Because that's a very human thing that I'd like to think that takes sympathy in. And just let me go. Maybe escort me to a McDonald's or something where I can go and do my business in the bathroom, not just in the middle of it. But I like to think they believe me for that one.
I have thought about this. Wouldn't work for speeding, but if I ever got in a sort of a minor car crash, or if I accidentally ran over someone's Unsinkable Sam or something like that, that my excuse would be, I was driving along within the speed limit and I sneezed and I just had to I made my eyes shut for a split second. And in the brief moment that my eyes were shut, the cat ran out, or, I just sort of lost control.
Oh dear.
Because no one can really argue with that. Do you know what I mean? You can't keep your eyes open if you're sneezing.
Oh dear, yeah. You're a man who plans ahead, though, Peter. I like that. Yeah. I mean, we all go through these imaginary scenarios, but that's a good one to have in the back of your jeans. Wait, in the back pocket. Back pocket. The back of the jeans.
In the back of my jeans.
But I don't know what I'd say for speeding. Maybe the problem is if you say something, if you tell them that you've got some kind of urgent destination, like, oh, my wife's in hospital, she's giving birth right now or something, they might say, all right then, I'll escort you to hospital. And then you have to go in and pretend to be someone's husband, maybe. So you got to be careful, giving a reason, because if they go with it and they say, oh, that's fair enough, but they might say, well, let me get you there in time then.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if you genuinely did have a toilet emergency and then you lie about it and say that you're missing the birth of your child? They escort you to hospital and then you have to hang out in a hospital for 20 minutes until the policeman leaves, and then you can drive home slowly to do your poo.
Oh dear.
It's not good. I think if I was trying to deceive this officer, I would either go with feigning a serious medical issue.
Yeah.
In that I'm just like, maybe slurring my words a bit and looking like sort of going in and out of consciousness, faking it, really. Or I'd cry. Those are the two options if I was trying to deceive the officer. Of course, I think we all know that the correct answer is to apologize sincerely, don't argue or say things like, was I? Or no, I wasn't.
Can you quote the exact law, officer? Can you give me the
show me
number?
Where that's illegal, please.
Which paragraph?
You accept your dangerous driving course. You go along. You feel a bit humiliated for an afternoon, and then you can go home and learn from this. But also cry.
I would flutter my eyelashes and undo my blouse.
Mr. Austin,
so seductive.
Yeah.
I'd really like. I mean, like a fully grown blubbering man has got to be a sight, like a real. Well, they put up a way worse. I forget. Police literally deal with some of the toughest things in the world. So yeah, I think a big crying man at the wheel of a car is nothing to them. So all right, so get on with it. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you very much, boys. Mr. Potter.
Hello.
Would you like to do your thing?
Sure. I actually need your guys' help with my thing. Because this thing comes courtesy of one of our Discord members, and that is Tommy Triglyceride T, as we know him, to our friends. Tommy works in a park, a big American park, one of those natural ones with like animals in it and stuff, not just like one with swings in it. I'm talking like big preserved landscape. Park. Yeah, big park is where he works, and he was recently doing some research about some sort of like bear stuff just to help out with some educational materials I think that he was putting together. And he found a story about someone being very silly with bears. And it's from I think the 1930s. And there are some characters that need voices. So we're going to read through that. I'll send you the photos in a second. And then I'm going to give you Tommy's 5 bear tips for bear interactions, because I know we're all interacting with bears at the moment. So it's bear season. They're not about to all go to sleep for a while. So I think it's important that we're all prepared for our interactions with bears. And I'm going to send you these now. Peter, if you read the red bits and Mikey reads the green bits, then we should all be able to get through this. Are you guys ready?
Born ready.
Yes.
So this is an excerpt from a book about bears and general park keeping. I don't know the full details. Here we go. Another bear injury story illustrates not only the ignorance that park visitors exhibited for many years in feeding bears, but also how the bear would sometimes end up actually getting the blame. William Rush, the author, arrived at a park road camp one day in the 1930s to find a ranger impatiently talking to a woman visitor.
Lady, you mustn't do that. You've been told time and time again not to feed the bear.
Oh, he won't hurt me,
replied the lady.
He's so cute standing there. He's the gentlest bear in the park.
Yes, I know.
Assented. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that word. Assented the ranger wearily.
Oh, I wasn't weary.
Yes, I know.
Assented the ranger wearily.
But even tame bears hurt people quite often. They don't mean to. It's always an accident, but the injury is just as bad. It's against the rules. Why can't you obey the regulations?
Oh, bother the regulations,
said the lady scornfully.
Oh, it's me again. Can't be me again, right?
You rangers are always harping on about regulations. This bear is hungry. Look here, I'll show you how eager he is to get even a small morsel of bread.
The ranger shook SHH. Shook his head.
Yes.
I really wish you would not feed that bear.
he said, and rode away without waiting for the lady to demonstrate how hungry her pet bear was. Life was probably pretty dull for this woman, staying all day in a camp with nothing much to do but admire the scenery. Sounds awful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When a car drove up a few minutes later after the ranger had gone, she called to the people.
Let me show you my bear's trick. He's just too cute for anything.
They gathered around and the woman held a piece of candy at full arm's length above her head. The bear, a great black fellow, rose on his hind feet and easily reached the candy. The woman backed away a few steps and offered another piece. The bear followed, walking on his hind legs, and took the candy as before. It was fun to make such a big fellow walk around and eat candy out of her hand. Everybody laughed and applauded.
Oh, such quaint creatures, these bears!
Exclaimed one of the ladies from the automobile party.
So tame, ever so cute and gentle.
They watched until the woman tired of the game. She stood directly in front of the bear, facing him, but offering no more candy.
Go away now,
she ordered.
No more candy for you today.
She did not move, and as the bear dropped down on all fours, he put out his front feet towards her, much as he would to a tree or any other convenient object to ease his descent. The woman screamed, "Ah!" as his paws touched her shoulders. His claws, sharp as knives, seeking support, ripped through her clothing and skin. They tore deep cuts a foot long across her breaths, and blood spurted from them. The woman fainted. The bear backed away and disappeared in the pandemonium that ensued. One of the men ordered an ambulance by telephone, then drove post-haste to the ranger station. There the apprehensive ranger heard the old familiar tale.
Something terrible happened. A bear just tore the breasts off a woman. Kill the bear. He must be killed. He's a dangerous beast. Kill the wicked bear.
So the story went, told by the very people who had but a few minutes before that thought he was cute. A biologist from the Seattle Zoo summed it up for me this way.
On many occasions, animals are not much trying to hurt us as giving us a mere rebuke or warning. The trouble is, a mere rebuke or warning from a bear can put a human in traction.
Anyone reading the monthly park superintendent's reports from the 1920s and 1930s, as I know we all have listening to this podcast, cannot help but be impressed by the massive numbers of bear bites and scratches to foolish visitors caused by their feeding of bears. For example, the monthly report for September of 1924 records 88 bear bites at West Thumb alone.
How dumb could so many be?
Ah, well done, guys.
That's good. I like it in story time.
Look at that.
I mean, that's a terrible story, especially if it really happened, which it probably did. So apologies for laughing, but also I can't really not laugh at the phrase, a bear just tore the breasts off a woman.
Yeah.
It's
also,
so graphic.
Woman visitor is quite the important distinction to make. Not a regular visitor.
No.
A woman visitor. Wow.
She must have been really bored sitting around with nothing but a view.
Yeah, terrible. Sounds awful. So would you like some tips about how to behave around bears?
Oh, yes, please.
Mm-hmm. This is from Tommy now. This story is about a black bear and a silly old woman. I work in a forest with an emphasis, we don't know how old she is actually, probably dead now though.
Yes.
Yes.
I work in a forest with an emphasis on education and I was doing some research on them when I stumbled across this. These bears are quite aloof and skittish when compared to other bears like browns, grizzlies, polars, etc. Black bears usually only get up to about 300 pounds. That's at least 6 washing machines, I think. Nice. They're more likely to get their food from foraging rather than hunting. However, they're still an absolute unit of an animal. It's extremely rare to have a black bear attack, but it does occasionally happen. So, here are some friendly reminders for those visiting bear country. Here we go. Number 1, hike in groups if you can. It's best not to hike alone. Number 2.
That's true, because then you can run away and leave one of your friends behind.
Yes, you can.
You don't need to be faster than the bear, just be faster than your friend.
As long as the cat survives and the one who dies is documenting the whole thing, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, make your presence be known while you're hiking. Make noise and such. Presumably to scare
I am hiking.
Hiking.
Stomp.
Doing
That's
hikes.
what they tell you to say, like, hello bear and stuff, if you don't know what to do or say. I saw a documentary where someone was like alone in the woods for weeks at a time, and he was told to walk around it and just keep going like, "Hello, bears!" Like if he thought there might be bears nearby, he would just shout like, "Bears! Any bears there?"
I love that. Hello,
I guess,
bear.
yeah, it gives them a chance to scurry by your voice before they see you.
Yeah, you don't want to surprise them.
Yeah.
Hello, bear. If you encounter a bear, don't run. Remain calm and back away slowly while keeping your eyes on the bear. If it is coming towards you, then you can make some noise, hello bear, and attempt to frighten it off. You can throw rocks as a last resort, it says. Point 4, travel with bear spray if you can. That's when it gets really close. And finally, number 5, as the story told us, do not feed wildlife. Keep wild animals on a wild diet. Be a clean camp ranger, it says with a little emoji of a cowboy. So there you go. I know we're all going to be bumping into bears around this time of year, but those are some... There's a harrowing story there about the breasts being ripped off our woman visitor. And also 5 points to pay attention to. And remember, if you encounter a bear.
I always love like guidance like this because it registers and it makes sense, but I feel like in the moment I'd become a quivering, screaming mess.
Oh yeah, you forget all this stuff, don't you?
Yeah, it's just
turn your back on the bear, run away silently, not throw rocks, mace yourself in the face.
Take these sweets and leave me alone.
Throw Campinos at the bear.
Yeah.
Leave me alone to enjoy this boring week in the woods, surrounded by nothing but beautiful views.
I hate it here. It's just bears and trees.
Oh dear!
Amazing. Thank you, Ben.
Absolutely spectacular.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy. Our old pal James. James with music notes wearing headphones emoji at Corrosion Audio on Twitter.
Oh yes.
Asks, with Mikey's birthday recently and Ben and Peter past the big 3-0, is there anything you're looking forward to about getting older?
Retiring.
Yeah, honestly, retiring sounds...
At age 75 at this rate. They've just put the retirement age up again.
Oh.
It's like 60, was it now 67, 68?
Oh. Well, when it hits the big 6-9, that'll be good, but anything beyond that is a bit much.
Yeah.
God,
retiring sounds really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not going to be a world to retire into, though.
No, that's the problem. Yeah.
Ever the optimists.
Buying a house and then not having to, paying it off and then not having to pay rent or a mortgage.
That'd be nice.
Sort of fast forward to that. That'd be nice.
Imagine waking up one day, every day, and just thinking, I can do whatever I want. I answer to no man or woman.
I'm going to go be rude to someone at a Little Chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making minimum wage.
Maybe that's why they do it. It's just boredom.
Got nothing else. Just go and be a bully outside.
Yeah.
I can't wait to slowly meander down shopping supermarket aisles and block all of the things that people want.
Yeah.
Just do all the things you're not supposed to. Feed bears.
I can't wait to vote hard right on all elections just to fuck with the next generation for fun.
Yeah.
Knowing full well I will not live to see the consequences.
I got mine. I'm fine about that.
I can't wait to drive on the wrong side of the motorway at some point and cause a major accident.
Yeah.
We'll be driving around the ring road for 18 hours until I run out of petrol because I'm confused and don't know where I am.
The road just keeps going. I don't know where to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's not funny, but, it could happen to any one of us. Yeah. We'll be doing it. We'll be driving, right? We'll have Podiots on, just on loop. Yeah. Terrible. A fate worse than death.
Listening to Podiots. Fuck.
I think 2 things I'm excited for is being offered seats everywhere I go. That sounds like a real treat.
Yeah.
And the ability to shoplift would be great. No one's going to, sweet old man, go out in like a nice suit or something, look all nice and be very gentle and polite and walk out.
This guy's got vegan stuff in his pocket.
I'm looking forward to being able to euthanize my wife and only get a suspended sentence for it. That's what you can do as long as you're over the age of, about 55.
Is that how it works?
Well, yeah, maybe a bit more than that. Maybe over 60 or 70. Just, if you put a cushion over your spouse's face because they've got dementia or some sort of crippling illness, you're allowed to murder them and not go to jail.
She was very tired, that's all.
But only if you're an elderly white man.
That's what happens.
Yeah, that is what happens.
I do hope the sort of cynical tone is coming through.
You would hope so at this point if people have been listening to Podiots for a while. But I am struggling to think of any... Not that I think things are going to go downhill necessarily, but I'm like, things are... I don't know. I can't really think of anything to look forward to age-wise necessarily. What's that?
Free bus pass.
Free bus pass, yes. And also Asda are offering soup and coffees unlimited for £1 through November and December, which is, as Peter was saying earlier, pretty harrowing. But also that's good. If you're over 60, you can go get that. Nice. I suppose I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, we're about to get a little deeper here. I'm kind of on the fence about having kids. I don't know that I want them, right? And I suppose I'm looking forward to either the point where I have had kids and they have grown up and they have gone, and then suddenly I have money and time to do things again, or just as I get older, I can afford to go on more holidays and buy nicer things for myself because I don't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, maybe.
And then there's that one dark day in your empty, silent house where you're sat in your armchair. You just wish you could reach out to little Timmy, but you never bore a child, and you're all on your own.
Fuck that guy. I'm going to eat KFC and play Call of Duty 35, and I'm going to have a great time. Slowly pickle myself with vodka and hope I don't die of a preventable disease too quickly.
Everyone else's kids will be kicking your ass in Call of Duty 35.
We'll see. I'll be retired. Well, actually, no, I won't. We'll be working well into our 90s. I think we all know that.
Yeah.
It reminds me, actually, the other week, I was walking through a lovely park. It was a nice sunny day in Bristol. I was walking behind an old man. He was kind of slowly shuffling along, and I kept a little bit distance behind him, just give him space. At one point, he just stopped in the middle of the path, looked up, let out a massive fart and carried on. I don't even know if he was aware of the fact he did it, but I kind of admired that.
He knows. Just completely unhit. What are you going to do, huh?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
He's talking your language, Mikey. He was just maybe trying to impress you.
True. It worked. I'm still thinking about him to this day.
You're telling everyone about it. I'm looking forward to the fact that by then, virtual reality might be like super advanced. We might have like holodecks or, other stuff. And I can basically just lie down in bed, hook myself up to some sort of nutrient dispenser, and then put a headset on and just live a completely different life and forget all about what is inevitably happening outside the window in that fateful year.
Oh, fingers crossed. That does actually... God, that sounds grim, but that does sound like a good way to play out your final days.
Farms, server farms. That sounds great. Maybe at some point...
Honestly, yeah. Well, I was just going to say, if the Matrix happens and they want to like plug me in and use my body for something to power the world or whatever it is that they want to do, as long as they've put a really good Oculus on my head and I can wander around a virtual world that's like paradise, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I guess that's the problem with the Matrix. It's like what you could program in any world you wanted for these human batteries. Instead, you give them office jobs and stuff. Like just make it fantastic, and then you'll never want to leave.
Absolutely. Cool. Maybe at some point they'll start selling the big Domino's dips in supermarkets, and then it's over for you fools.
Yeah. Might be over for Domino's at that point.
Yeah, well,
what we used to do is
Domino's if I could just get the dip and have a good pizza.
Exactly. Get an Asda, create your own pizza and just buy a big Domino's dip.
And then go for your soup.
And a roll of Andrex and you're sorted for the night.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you all very much. Now I can't wait to get old. Thank you. Would you like to hear my thing?
I would.
Yes, please.
Infringing on Peter's bit here, but I'm also in keeping with the theme of today with animals. But I have some breaking poos.
Oh, very good.
The headline reads, Mum left in hospital for days after dog pooed in her face as she slept.
No.
Oh,
Bad
God.
dog.
Yeah, very, very naughty boy.
Pooed in her face, not just on.
Inside her face.
Right,
whatever that means.
Oh, you're about to learn about some of the gory details coming
Oh,
up.
God.
I'll try. Maybe I might. Oh, I don't know. It was pretty grim. The worst bit of it is something that I can't describe via text, so that's something. But we'll get to that when we get to it.
Right.
Amanda Gommo, that's Gommo, which is a fantastic last name, was sleeping with her mouth open when she woke as something squirted into it. Reads the subtitle.
Oh, it's already worse than I thought it would be.
That's horrific.
Oh my God. It's equal parts hilarious and harrowing. It's quite something, because it's like, haha, dog poo on your face. Also, it's like, oh my God, it gets worse. So this is as with all articles like this got posted across every local news website out there imaginable, and it was on Twitter a few days ago. That's why I first saw it. This particular article is by Derbyshire Live.
Derbyshire Live.
My favourite. A woman spent 3 days in hospital after her daughter's dog, so it wasn't even her own dog. That's it's got some sting. After her daughter's dog accidentally did a poo on her face while she was asleep.
How do they know it was accidental?
Yeah. Amanda Gommo, 51, was taking an afternoon nap with Chihuahua Belle when the pooch became ill and had violent diarrhea. Oh, God. Bella, no.
Dog minnows.
Very good.
The mum of 3 was asleep with her mouth open. Oh, God. Top and tailing with Belle, which is quite...
That's the dog, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But how do you top and tail with a dog? Because they don't really go top to tail. They go top to
you
neck.
put its ass in your mouth, apparently.
That's weird.
Top and tailing with Belle when the messy accident occurred and some got in her mouth. She ran to the bathroom to be sick, but later ended up in hospital with a gastrointestinal infection passed on from the pet. Amanda from, wait for it, Bristol! Yay!
Bristol.
More like Bristol.
Hey,
Right.
nice. She said, I was having my afternoon nap with Belle, like I always do, when I suddenly just warning, this is oh God, just if you don't like this, just get out now. It's already too late.
Oh, God.
When I suddenly felt something squirt in my mouth, I rushed to the bathroom and my son was in the shower. So, before I washed it out, I had time to take a quick snap.
What?
No, what?
I'm not. Do you want to see the snap? It's bad, but it could be worse. Let's put it that way.
We're not going to put it on the thread, but sure.
Absolutely not. If you want
I
to see,
feel like I sort of have to.
I haven't had
but
my dinner yet.
before I could wash it out, I was able to take a quick snap. It's insane.
Oh, all right, get ready. I'll delete it as soon as you've seen it.
Oh no.
Oh, what the fuck? That is. Why would you take a photo of that? That's unhinged behavior. That's like that's
God.
unwell.
That was the point where this article just became baffling because she looks quite calm and collected in that photo. I've deleted it for your own sanity.
She looks mildly annoyed about it. Like, oh dear.
Guess I got some feces in my mouth. Whoops.
I ran to the bathroom, but it was occupied. Rather than go to like literally any other water source. Let me get a quick selfie though.
Yeah.
I admire it though. I wish in that kind of situation I'd have the foresight to get a snap for the gram, but
She didn't even throw up like the peace.
Poos.
She continues, it was disgusting. I was hurling violently for hours after. I just couldn't get a photo. Yeah, of course, yeah. I just couldn't get the taste out of my mouth.
Ugh.
Amanda's daughter took Belle to the vet where the pooch was diagnosed with a nasty stomach bug and put on antibiotics. But later that day, Amanda started displaying the same symptoms as Belle. So she rang 111, who sent an ambulance to her home, which is, imagine the paramedics turning up to that. So what's happened here today, Amanda? Dog pooed in my mouth.
Have a look at the photo.
Yeah, it's the photo.
Look. What is that? You've got Marmite all over your face. What's going on?
Paramedics prescribed her painkillers for her stomach cramps and instructed her to drink lots of water to flush out any potential infection. After the visit, her symptoms became progressively worse, and 48 hours later, Amanda's cramps had spread all over her body, so this had took like a real turn. Amanda's mum then rang 999, who dispatched another ambulance, and this time she was transported to Bristol Royal Infirmary and immediately hooked up to a drip. Their doctors diagnosed Amanda with a gastrointestinal infection that had been passed through Belle's feces into her mouth days earlier. Just as a palate cleanser, I am going to drop a picture of the woman and the dog sans feces. So that's nice, isn't it? Cute dog, cute dog.
I would never put my face anywhere near any dog's ass at any point. Do not understand the logistics of how this happened.
Yeah.
I also struggle to believe that this was an accident.
I'm going to read some choice comments, and I think you're in agreement with some of the people here, Ben. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of the gist. She got over it. She's doing better. She in the article I quote, she'd been drinking 2 Lucozades a day since her hospital visit, and now she's on the mend and feeling a lot better.
Great. Lucozades will fight any parasite.
Just burn right through it. So yeah, that's a bit of poo news. As always, the best part of these articles is having a little look through the comments and just seeing how unhinged the local populace can be. I think, oh my God, I can't even read this person's name. Or someone from the Northeast, the name is important. Just sums it up quite nicely with, I really didn't need to know this.
Good.
One from Jim Cat.
Clicked on the article though, so
yeah, true. Yeah, got your attention. Jim Cat says, I think Ben's. Well, no, he says, accident, my eye, more like a spiteful little hound. She saw the chance and took it. Good for you, little dog. The woman got what she deserved for putting a jumper on a dog anyway.
So is he saying that? What the revenge of the dog
did it on purpose,
was giving her a parasite because she wanted to eat the what? Is that what he's saying?
No, just because she put a jumper on the dog was like,
I heard
fuck
that
you.
Last bit, but the first bit made it sound like she had different intentions.
Well, I think the word accident is that the dog accidentally shit in her mouth. And that person saying the dog didn't do it by accident. The dog did it on purpose.
The dog did it on purpose. Yes. Right.
That's it. Fruit and Nut says, my staffy Gabby puked on my face once. God rest her soul. Cute little tricky word.
Thanks for that.
And God rest her soul.
God rest her soul. She puked on my face once. God rest her soul.
What a card.
Classic Gabby.
This last little section here is just from a random blog online. Some random man on the internet put his voice out there, kind of regurgitated the whole article and had a little, his own opinion bit at the end. He said, I've forgiven, this is a quote from the original article, I've forgiven Belle for a little accident and I still love her with all my heart, Gomo stated, but I will definitely be more mindful of what position we sleep in the future. And this writer went on to say, the craziest part of this story might be that Gomo didn't get rid of the dog. In fact, she's still sleeping with her dog, just not in their normal dog butt pointed at her mouth position. Look, dogs get diarrhea sometimes. It sucks. You clean it up and the dog gets to stay in the house. Diarrhea alone isn't reason enough to send your dog packing. However, when you end up in the hospital because the dog pooped in your mouth, that's a completely different story. That dog can't be trusted and needs to find a new home.
Wow.
Yeah,
goodness.
I mean, fair enough.
Quite the stance. Get out, dog. You shit in my mouth one last time. That's it. You're out.
It was okay the first time, but second time, no.
That's a bit much for me. And that is a wonderful story about poo and dogs. Thank you for listening.
Michael.
Thank you very much, Michael. I really enjoyed that.
So you see why I didn't jump in first here. Let the meat of the podcast go through first. Yes, viewer be warned. Don't Google that unless you want to see something a little bit gross.
Yeah. It's definitely not as bad as I thought it could be, but it's
just a little bit sickly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you like one final question to end on?
Yes, please.
This one comes from Jared at LikeAGlove90 on Twitter, and they say, I know Ben's gone through the Matrix phase before, and Mikey's been a 4chan atheist, and he's both. Have you had a Matrix phase, Ben?
What the fuck does that mean?
Did you enjoy The Matrix for a period of time?
I've seen The Matrix one once in 2010, and none of the others. I don't give a shit about The Matrix.
I just want to rebuke my one here. Mikey's been a 4chan atheist. Excuse me.
What?
What?
I'm not even sure exactly what 4chan atheist means. Is it just an atheist on 4chan? Or?
And Peter fucking hates castles.
Yeah, God, get out of here.
That's the opener to the preface to the question.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any lifestyle or clothing choice you wish you gave a try throughout your youth or young adulthood? Punky Pete, Posh Potter, Jacobian Johnson, Keys.
Okay, it might be because I think I said that I liked the idea of wearing a leather duster at one time, and then maybe the conversation moved to The Matrix. But I really couldn't give less of a shit about The Matrix.
Did you ever want to wear a fedora, Mikey? Have you ever said that on the podcast?
No, I think I've said on the podcast when I was far too young to be going on 4chan, I used to do that, but I didn't adopt, a fashion or a lifestyle to accompany that. Jesus. How dare you, Jared?
So what was the question? Is there any fashion we've ever fancied getting?
Any lifestyle or clothing choice you wish you'd given a try during your youth when you maybe had a bit more freedom and flexibility to do it? Let's just go into this assuming no one's going to bully you for it, because that is naturally the limiting factor here. Is, oh God, what will the others think of me? I was kind of upset that throughout my teen years, I dressed pretty plainly. It wasn't too exciting or anything. I wish I really joined in and the neon coloured clothes, like red skinny jeans and Converse, kind of soft emo look a bit more. Maybe dyed my hair black a bit. I think I would have been pretty baller. I wasn't going to dye my hair black.
Did you want to hang outside HMV with the other kids?
Yeah. Maybe one of those annoying mall kids that shrieks and laughs and screams a lot. Still do that.
The Goths still hang outside the HMV in Banbury to this day.
No way.
That's where I went to secondary school, and there's a long, proud tradition of goth and emo and scene and alternative kids who always hung out outside the HMV, and they were there when I visited earlier this year.
That's just been passed down from one generation to the
lives
next.
on. And the McDonald's has gone as well, that was nearby, so they've got less and less to be excited about.
Not even any sustenance for the Goths.
Somehow the HMV's still there then.
Yeah.
We used to have at the Sunderland bus station, there's a phenomenon of the hugging emos. They'd all just a gaggle of 6 or 7 of them would just stand around and kind of occasionally hug each other, and you'd see them pretty much every time you went there. There's always a rotation of little goth emo children.
Weird. Yeah. Good for them. Hugging is better than hurting.
True. That's true. Shouldn't be judging. We're a judge-free podcast here.
Yeah, we sure are. I wanted green hair at one point. Nice. I don't know if I spoke about this on the podcast. I may have done ages ago. But I wanted green hair at one point. And I was due to go abroad with the Scouts that summer. And I wanted to dye it green for the summer. And I asked my Scout leader, and he said no. And that was it.
Aww.
So no green hair for me.
How about you?
I don't know if I can think of a kind of a clothing or style thing that I particularly wanted to get involved in, but I did always quite, in a way, I think for a certain period of my upbringing, I envied my friends who lived more in the city and used to after school, they would then be able to just like go and hang out together in town or whatever, or, you know, at the HMV or wherever it is, you know, whether they were skating or whether they were goths, or it doesn't really, that's not, it's the, you know, their style didn't interest me as such, but just being able to have a bunch of friends on tap and, just like get together on a school night or over the weekend. Whereas I lived in a village, as did you, Ben, I know, and that suited me most of the time. Like I've never been like a particularly sociable person, and a lot of the time I was quite happy to just stay at home and play games. Or there were a couple of kids I did know in the village, but you know, you can't go and do anything that interesting when you live in a sleepy little rural place. But yeah, there were probably certain times in my life, maybe like after I'd watched like films set in cities where kids are hanging out, you know, I might sort of go through a bit of a phase where I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, that looks good, being able to just go and get together very easily. Whereas
going
for me,
into
it was
town
like,
was a treat.
Yeah, exactly. So just in terms of lifestyle, whether it's the skaters or the goths or whoever it is, just any one of them hanging out
that proximity
together. Yeah. Just having friends is basically what I sound like I'm saying.
I want to be hugged by a goth.
Having various, you know, just being able to like hang out at shops or fast food places or whatever, which I couldn't really do in the village. Just me and my mates at each other's houses at best. So
likewise, I grew up in a village. It wasn't exactly small, but it was still, you know, villagey.
Right.
And like as you say, on the rare trips out to town, I remember really distinctly this one memory. I think I must have been about 12, and my dad took me into Burger King to get some food, and I was too nervous to order, and so he went up to do it for me. And like I had this crushing realization, I was like, oh, one day I'm going to have to do that myself. Maybe I'll just never order food in my life. So I just don't want to do it that badly. Maybe
the big one for me was going in and asking for your haircut for the first time.
Oh yeah.
I still put off haircuts for months. I still hate it. It's a fraught experience. I don't know what to talk about.
You don't have to talk about anything if you don't want.
I know, but I feel like I should be filling that silence with something. And yeah, I don't know. I still
just go cross-eyed slowly, and then they won't talk to
you.
I just close my eyes very slowly and go,
fall asleep in the chair.
I remember going to a museum once that had you know where they've got like model streets? It's like a big street, but it's indoors. I don't mean like a little tiny one. I mean like a full-size one, but it's like you know, one that they've built. And quite often they're historical ones. So you'll go there and there might be like a medieval street or a Victorian street or something. But this one, I don't know. I think it was maybe some kind of transport and travel museum. And anyway, they had in one part of it just a modern street. And it was nighttime in the street. So they had all the street lights on and the sky was just black. So it looked more convincing than, you know, when they've got a fake blue sky dome and you can just see it's got dust on it and stuff. And it's like, and I remember walking down on my own in that little part of the museum, and I was probably only like 10 maybe, and I suddenly got the sense of like, oh my god, this is what it's like to be like in a city at night on your own. And I thought it was really cool. I just remember walking down this like fake street in the dark under these like street lamps, and I was like, whoa, this will be cool when I can do this one day.
Can't wait to do this.
Yeah. It's a really vivid memory I've got, just this fake street.
Do you think at some point in the future there'll be a museum where there's a recreation of a street and there's an HMV and there's loads of like really dodgy looking waxworks and they've got black wigs and hoodies on
at Woolworths?
Yeah, just crushed monster cans all around them.
And there'll be all these, you know, our generation will be all these old people with their grandchildren going, oh yes, that's what I used to do. Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope I live to see it.
You get, you know, 60s, 70s streets now in these museums, and your parents and your grandparents are like, oh yes, the chippy or whatever. So it could happen.
Yeah, good. It'll happen to you.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. I think we've done a great job there with those questions. Thank you, Mikey, for bringing the questions.
Thanks, Mikey.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for asking and submitting your questions. Don't stop doing that when we request them the days preceding a podcast recording. Thank you guys for your things as well. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We appreciate you very, very much. Michael's going to tell you all about a store that doesn't exist.
That's right. Not at store.yorkscast anymore. Actually, let's see what store.yorkscast.com/vidiots. What does it actually bring up?
Oh, we're secretly on the back end.
Oh, it's our logo's there, but there's just nothing there. It's an empty, barren wasteland. That's sad.
Man. What if everyone goes to that URL and they see a spike of traffic on the back end? Oh, you know what? Maybe we should put a phone case on there.
Yeah. A mystery phone case that we never asked.
Just a phone case, yeah. Just in the US, though, for some reason.
So, yeah, everyone go over to store.
We'll work on it then, right?
Yeah. In the meantime, you can go mourn the empty store at store.yorkscast.com/collections/vidiots and go cry at it. But we will be back soon. Don't you worry. We're not going to leave you. There was one tweet from someone the other day who said they broke one of their Podiots and went to buy a new one and were heartbroken and found there was nothing there.
Oh, beans.
Beans, indeed.
That's a shame.
We'll try and get it all back, though, the ones that you know and love, as well as some new ones. So Beans Time, I'm sure, we'll bring back.
I was going to say, we only just fucking released that shirt.
Yeah.
Beans Time shirt. We'll circle back. Will it be sorted by the time we do the next episode? Unlikely, because we'll probably forget. But we'd consider it in hand.
Yes. There you go.
We are available on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook,
all.com/Vidiots official.
bit.ly /Vidiots official Discord. That's camel case Vidiots official Discord. Go say hello to fellow Discord users there. Twitch.tv/Vidiots official as well. We stream there sometimes, haven't done it for a while, but go give it a follow if you want. Of course, streamlabs.com/Podiots donations, £3 or more to get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the show and join Pod Squad. We'd really appreciate it if you can. No worries if you can't. Mikey's going to kick us off again.
Puddle Duddle, Caroline, Blobby, Cheggers, etc. Where is Kevin? Scissor me, daddies. Mr. Blobby becomes a drug lord. An extra 50's worth of wicks. Jack J.D. Bradshaw. Mr. Black. Normal name Nick Gage. Blobby got U-treed. Stephen Skodes. And normal name Lord Brotovich.
Also, Freddie Weber did a sex wee oo-woo. Smelly penis discharge. Shit, this isn't WebMD. Big Titty Jesus 42. Blister Black. Mr. Street View. Extra 50 worth of Pod Squad. Don't put your feet before your cocks. Podiots present being liable. Mr. Macca the Quacker Thacker. Prince Beefcakes and Finn Tristram.
And the dicks were a bit much for me. Mr. Macca, Podiots presents Plushy Labs. Edgar Allan Poe. 2 1/4 Doms, Don Echo 7, Theoretically Possible, Dave's bent son Philip, Juan with Everything, Dick and Dominatrix in Bangalo, I'm Sorry I Took It Too Far, and My Cool Jugs Son. Thank you, Pod Squad. We appreciate all of you. Once again, streamlabs.com/Podiots donations, £3 or more. We love you. Thank you very much. What's out on Vidiots this week 4 years ago, Peter?
4 years ago this week on Vidiots, we have got the worst games ever, Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh dear. Vidiots live Twitch stream, Dark Souls Remastered number 2. Mm-hmm. The best to ever Stronaut, that's Catastronauts. Yes. Oh, hang on, we've already done that. No, we've not. No, that's right. The extended director's cut of Peter Gets Hit by a Car. I was going to say, we've done Peter Gets Hit by a Car, but it's the extended 7-minute 30 version of me being wrapped up. Podiots episode 16, In Bed with Neil.
Ah, nice.
Post some tat number 33, For Fox's Sake. We've got Rules Boss Bomb Disposal Challenge. Worst Games Ever, America's 10 Most Wanted. Personal Dick Rocket, Sex Olympics 1990, featuring Booth. That now has limited ads. Thanks, Booth.
I wonder why. Cheers, Booth. We lost 30 subscribers because of you.
It's all your fault. It was a very good video. You should go and watch it. It's very sexy. In all its 8-bit glory. Peter Gets Hit by a Car again, Art Attack PC. Vidiots live Twitch stream, Eggs for Bart /Fatal Frame 2. Oh, I wasn't there for that one.
Oh, no.
I remember that.
Then it's post some tat number 34, Happy Birthday, Mikey.
Hey! Oh. With my small monkey John Deere cake, I'll never forget you.
Yes.
Okay, good man.
Yeah. And actually, that's it. That takes us up to the release of this episode.
Nice.
Wonderful stuff. Mikey, where are you on the internet?
At Parrot Boy on Twitter is the best place to keep up to date with all my comings and doings. Go there. There's some nice images and stuff, and I stream sometimes on Twitch. Same name.
Excellent. And Peter, where are we?
We are at that Peter Austin and at confused_dude on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram, but we are both at Team Triple Jump on YouTube and Twitch. That's where we put our content, and also Twitter and Facebook as well if you want our social media. But yeah, go over there if you want to see things like Rules Boss and cooking and Worst Games Ever. It's still all happening at Triple Jump.
They most certainly are. Why not leave a 5-star review on your platform of choice? It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms. Big thank you, everybody, for listening, and we hope you're all doing well. Do we have a final question to see us off until Spookiots?
I always forget this is coming. It's like, oh no, brain, do something.
Well, that's why we almost always now resort to just one of the topics we've covered in the podcast. Yes. It wasn't always that way. Sometimes it would be, what's your favourite animal? Or whatever, but that's the question.
Where did all the Goths in your town hang out?
Yes. Yeah, tell us about who hangs out where in your town.
What business did they haunt, literally? Great. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Oh, I'm going to cough. Bye-bye.
Bye.